Disasters like these can happen in an instant without you even realizing it. Do you think we're prepared? Really? Hi, my name is John Stone, and today in this short video, I'll tell you something only a handful of powerful people have known for more than 10 years. I'll present you crucial information that may save your life. I'm talking about one of the best guarded secrets of the 21st century that may be a lifeline for you and your family. You see, over the past year, over 34,000 people have already found out how to protect their loved ones from this dark secret. And it can help every American citizen get over tragic milestones such as hurricanes, snowstorms, or floods. It was discovered by a stroke of luck in the archives of the Holy County, and its content predicted the turn points for mankind's history. And not only does it hold the answers to many questions already answered, but also to questions not yet asked. Now, I'm sure you're already intrigued and you want to know all about this mystery so that you can also be prepared. Honestly, it's like nothing you've ever seen or heard, and in a few minutes from now, you'll be outraged you never knew the danger you and your family have been living in. So you absolutely need to watch this short presentation today while it's still up. Now, I don't know how much longer I'll have this free presentation online, so watch this right now while you still can. Before we continue, let me tell you who I am and how it all started. As I mentioned before, my name is John Stone, 65-year-old historian from Wichita, Kansas. And for the last 20 years, I've been studying ancient and contemporary prophecies, and I've witnessed countless revelations most people are completely unaware of. While researching, I came across some shocking rumors from inside the White House, and I decided to dig deeper into this mystery. I was shocked to find out a big secret passed on from Bush to Obama and recently to Trump, but we're being kept in the dark. This secret deal is more dangerous than any present armed conflict. It's a sinister pact between the White House and high-ranking officials of Vatican, and it will reach its terms in a short while devastating consequences. Hidden investigations revealed that the core of this pact is one of Nostradamus's long-lost books that never reached the surface. Now, this book is the best guarded secret of the 21st century, and it contains crucial information on horrible events that have already happened and, more important, on America's morbid destiny. The events presented by this dark secret reveal that the United States will be hit by something bigger than Hurricanes Michael or Florence, or bigger than the great tsunami of the coast of Japan that brought over 15,000 deaths and destroyed over 1.1 billion buildings, or even the Indonesian earthquake that reached 9.1 magnitude. But this time, the chaos will be man-made. America as we know it will cease to exist. Mayhem, famine, disease, death will all take its place and will spread like cancer. Don't think for a second you're prepared for the dark future that awaits us all. Yet before unraveling the much-needed information, please give me the chance to tell you who Nostradamus is and why his predictions are so important for each and every one of us. Now, for centuries, people have interpreted the words of Nostradamus, and historians, even scientists, have been amazed how accurate his prophecies have been. It is a known fact that time after time, Nostradamus predicted the rise of nations and fall of economies. But his darkest prediction has yet to come true. Historians say it's the most fearful, and it means the beginning of the end. Scientists back up the aspects with hard evidence. Therefore, before going any further, I must warn you, what you are about to hear is deeply disturbing, because the dots that this presentation connects will send shivers down your spine, and there will be no turning back once you hear this. Now, when you see the evidence that this great unavoidable ruination will come to reality, it will simply be impossible for you to go about your daily life like you used to before knowing this truth. In all human history, no other prophet has so accurately predicted the great events all around the world. Here are some of the predictions written in 1555 that have already come true. The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by the fire in the year 66. The Great Fire of London from Sunday, 2nd of September to Wednesday, the 5th of September, 1666. That's 111 years before it happened. Historians say it's one of the most accurate prophecies ever told. No other prophet predicted such a devastating event since then. From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the East. On April 20, 1889, Hitler was born in Western Europe from very poor parents. By his tongue, with manipulative oratory skills, Hitler moved Germany to action in the years following World War I. Near the gates and within the cities, there will be 2 scourges, the like of which will never be seen again. Famine with plague, people put out by steel, crying to the great immortal God for relief. Nostradamus wrote about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki that led to death, hunger, and unprecedented destruction. And there are many others. Yet you must understand the visions he had could not be explained with the words of the time, and he simply described them with the vocabulary that he had. Key persons around the world who deciphered his undiscovered words were forced to keep it under the hat. They have hidden the truth, meaning of the forthcoming events that will shake us all. These are provisions told over 5 centuries ago, carefully hidden by Nostradamus himself behind words. His prophecies predicted Obama's victory in 2013 as the first black president, but few know Nostradamus also predicted the fall of America by the end of this year due to a power no nation or alliance, be it military or economic, can withstand. It will hit America at its core and will send us all into medieval times. I will show you exactly why this knowledge is a closely guarded secret, and I'll reveal the signs that show how close we are to the fulfillment of this prophecy. The threat comes from an enemy hidden in plain sight that has yet to show its true strength, but will not hesitate to crush anyone who stands against it, no matter how powerful or how technologically advanced it is. My research led me to the Vatican Library, where I found the writings of an Italian journalist who stumbled upon an unusual find, the lost book of Nostradamus, dated 1629. Old historians talked about its existence, yet it did not surface until now. When reading through it, I stumbled over a unique quatrain. Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause the towers around the new city to shake. 2 great rocks for a long time will make war, and then Arethusa will color a new river red. After months of hard work, I managed to decipher the true meaning of his words. The towers of the new city shake. 9/11, 2001, the darkest day in American history. Yet, why would the great Nostradamus himself preach this historical turning point in the new city as the beginning of the end of times? It's the day America was brought down on its knees by the leader of Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. It was only the beginning. A series of attacks against America have followed ever since, as we know, and in the current geopolitical conditions, the war of Iraq, the war on ISIS, the Syrian and Ukrainian war, the constant terrorist attacks. It's obvious we're living in an unstable world that seems to teeter on the edge of complete chaos. 2 great rocks for a long time will make war. Besides America, the great power on earth, there's another nation that has been rising for some years, both economically and military, and threatens our safety. What country has recently started its violent expansion? What country has the military and economic power to spread chaos? It's greater than ISIS, Al-Qaeda, China, Iran, Iraq, all together. It's the biggest country on earth, ruled by the most fearful leader the history has ever seen. Russia, with its dreadful ruler, Vladimir Putin. It's Russia, and all ancient prophecies are pointing in that direction. The war we are on the verge of is foretold even by the Holy Bible. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Matthew 10:34. Well, who else sent swords into the Ukraine and Syria if not Putin himself? And again, it's only the beginning. And then Arethusa will color a new river red. Arethusa, in ancient Greek, means waterer. The Red River is the blood of our American soldiers who will die defending the country we all love. But how will Putin strike using the force of water? The world has already seen the force of nature. Countless fires, hurricanes, floods, acid rains, earthquakes, etc. have struck our beloved country time after time. It may seem that we are at the mercy of nature. Or are we? Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth. Again, to understand this apocalyptic message, we need to look back into the history. The day, 11th of March, 2011, Japan, eastern coast, 14.46 local time. The alarms start to ring. A huge tsunami can be seen across as it darkens the horizon. All hell unleashes over the land as a giant water block reaches the shores at heights of 133 feet. The water falls down as a wall of bricks that smash anything in its path. 16,000 deaths, 2,500 people missing, 1.1 million buildings destroyed, and probably the most important damage the tsunami made, the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Media stated at that time the force of nature. Key persons running the media as skillful puppeteers are knee-deep in this massive cover-up. You might be tempted to believe this nonsense. Yet, in light of recent discoveries, things tend to look like sci-fi movies, but real hard evidence can back up every piece of information presented here. Now, have you ever thought that not all natural disaster can be natural? Over the years, there have been many man-made disasters that had economic or military reasons. Numerous sources claim that the 2011 tsunami was caused by man and the disaster, and they were far from natural. They were also silenced. This information never reached the surface because it would have meant World War III, as China would have investigated and would have declared war to whoever was responsible. One of history's most devastating events was created by man, and the purpose for such actions lie in the blue eyes of the former KGB agent who started his world-conquering campaign from the very first day that he took over Russia. Now, Russia's military budget has tripled since Vladimir Putin won the election in 2012. Hidden investigations revealed massive investments in two key points on Russian territory. Now, the first base Putin put his eyes on is Vladivostok. Besides the city, which is actually a military base, Putin has been pouring money into another secret military headquarters. The second key point of Putin's worldwide campaign is located in the eastern part of the country, where high-tech military camps were built in Khabarovsk. While media has been covering only the European and Syrian issues with Russia, Vladimir Putin has been investing in this secret operation and is planning to activate this cell to fulfill his master plan that will lead to a disaster of biblical proportions. Listen to Brooks Agnew, Earth tomographer, explaining this cutting-edge technology.
Uses 1 billion watts beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano as layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we say that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake.
Now, this is the exact technology Putin developed to build a weapon of mass destruction in Khabarovsk. Sources claim that Putin tested this technology on March 11, 2011, and caused a huge tsunami. Hurricane Matthew started forming on September 28, 2018, when satellite footage showed the same activity in the same city on a larger scale. It is clear that Russia is preparing to take over the world, and Japan and Matthew were mere tests. Now, using this technology, he will strike America from distance, and he won't even be traced. So we won't even know what hit us. The American government is not prepared for such events, but you can be. Now, the consequences of such a powerful weapon will be far worse than Japan when Putin puts his full throttle on. Anything starting from earthquakes to hurricanes to massive fire spreads, massive and permanent power outs, well, how will the collapse start? Well, firstly, healthcare, which is already, as we all know, basically on its knees. With less and less personnel and less funding, will be overflowed. No matter the crisis, your local hospital will be overflowing, and the staff probably won't be able to help you or your loved ones. Now, during Florence, for instance, non-threatening illnesses turned deadly because of lack of personnel, supplies, and medicine. The hospitals are barely prepared for the patients they get in daily. Next, transport will shut down. You'll not be able to travel to safe places to provide food or shelter. Medicine will not be delivered, and pharmacies will be emptied in minutes. You may think that this is the worst part, yet you can say bye-bye to telecommunications, utilities, and running water. The diseases will spread in an instant. Police won't be able to help anyone. Well, they're barely doing that now. As the great Nostradamus predicted, America will be covered in rivers of blood and will all suffer. So when learning the truth, I gave it a good thought and decided not to sit around and wait for the disaster to strike. I began researching every single survival technique that I could find to save my family. I made it my sole purpose because leaving my family's well-being in the hands of the government clearly is not an option. Not only do they ignore the needs of the American citizens, but they keep us in the dark about the imminent danger. So I immediately began to look at the problem from every angle. I wanted to make sure my family never goes through such an experience. There had to be something. Frustrated, I created a list of what I needed. Number one, how to treat ourselves and others in case of an injury when doctors, pharmacies, and hospitals are shut down. And number two, how to protect ourselves from diseases, viruses, and any illnesses. Number three, what food, liquids, and medicines to stock up on, where to find sources of food, water, and other necessary materials. And four, how to keep our appliances running while the entire U.S. power grid will be shut down, and much other useful information. Now, being a historian doesn't really offer those kind of skills in all honesty, so I started looking into every other solution that could bring me the security for my family. Many sleepless nights passed, and I was getting tired of surfing the internet for a simple and efficient solution. Yet one day, Emily, my wife, reminded me about my high school friend Rick, who is a war veteran. As a professional in the military field, he had all the resources to help me. After getting back from Iraq, he dedicated his life to become an expert survivalist. So I picked up the phone and called him. We met up and discussed what I found out. When hearing the facts, He was really surprised. He told me that most of his Army training consisted of similar threats. He then explained to me the real secret to be safe in such situations is to know some basic techniques that only military men know, because he trained in some of the toughest field conditions in the world. So he knew them like the back of his hand. That was the moment that I realized I found the solution to my problem. What I didn't realize, though, however, is just how complex this domain is. The true secret of it is that it's so simple to learn and the fundamentals are so easy, yet few know about it and it's rarely used. So if properly taught, it can ensure anyone's safety. Without wasting a second, the very next day we met and we started to sort of a survival training program at his training camp. And as this training began, I swore to myself that I would go back home with the proper skills to survive the strike. And after many hours of going through dozens of techniques, I found what I was looking for. And I realized that they had held the key to protect myself and my family. But what I didn't know exactly was how to apply them in extreme situations. Well, Rick, being an enthusiast in this field, thoroughly explained them to me. So I was lucky. However, I insisted to set some basic rules. You see, I had to be able to easily teach them to my children. The materials that we used had to be easy to find when everything goes south. And as a guy who trained in this domain, Rick had a pretty good idea of the methods that can help you survive under any circumstance. However, learning to apply them wasn't that easy. We had some heated arguments, I'll tell you, mainly because of me being stubborn. I needed the course to be really easy to understand and share and teach to others. In the end, after several weeks, we finally came up with the simplest techniques that anyone can understand. Brilliant as they were, they could come in handy for anyone and anywhere. We only used things that were lying around his training camp that I never thought could be of such use. All accessories used during the course wouldn't have cost more than about $50 at Home Depot. However, I'm sure anyone could also find those things laying around the house for free if they weren't in such a rush. But the most important part is that it was incredibly useful and easy to remember. No risks of injury or damage, so anyone will have zero worries about their family's safety. They simply have to follow the steps in the right order to achieve the skills. And because of the ingenious way the course was designed, they'll be prepared for when Putin strikes with any weapon. They'll be prepared for any dangerous situation that might occur. Even more, the techniques will provide security for anyone's family, even if you face the most dangerous situations or you need them around the house. So after finishing the course, I headed home with peace, knowing that I'm prepared to protect my family from any disaster. After a while, my family and friends noticed a change in me. They all saw me more relaxed, more confident in myself. But the first test came shortly. Next spring, we went on our yearly family camping trip. We love it. Once a year, we have a family tradition to spend a night or two in the wilderness. Only us and nature. We packed all the necessary supplies and headed out. But this time was a bit different. At nightfall, as we were preparing to go to sleep, my wife, when she was moving the food in the trunk of the car, slipped on the wet grass and she fell. I heard a scream in the dark. She had bad luck of falling on a choppy rock and she cut her calf. I immediately rushed over and I realized it wasn't a simple cut. It was deep and it was bleeding fast. At the sight of blood, she panicked and started to shiver. So I calmed her down and told her she was safe and everything would be okay. I told her to lie on her back and I placed her legs higher than her body. Then I grabbed the first aid kit, of course, cleaned the wound and bandaged her leg not to lose any more blood. After securing the wound, I improvised some leg splints and tied them up with some rope that I had in the car, just in case, exactly how Rick had taught me. Now, because of the difficult road, we couldn't rush to the hospital that night, but as soon as the first rays of sun came up, we drove to check the wound out. After thoroughly analyzing the splinters, bandages, and the cut, the doctor told me everything would be okay. Now, to my surprise, he asked me if I had done any healthcare professional training because besides changing the bandage, there was nothing else that was needed. Feeling relieved, we all went home. On our way while I was driving, I realized how lucky we were that I had trained with Rick for Putin's big strike. I followed the steps Rick had taught me with such ease, and it all came so natural to me that I didn't even realize it at the moment. In truth, I almost couldn't believe how simple this really was, and how it helped me and my family stay safe. Now, after a while, I gave it a good thought and realized that it had been a great lesson. In emergency situations, you have to rely on yourself and not to be dependent on anyone else. And I felt so relieved to know that I could offer my family the sense of safety that they would always grow up being warm and secure and comfortable at home. Now, that was about 1.5 years ago. And since then, my family and I have been more relaxed than I ever thought we would be. I started applying more and more of Rick's techniques around the house, and everything got easier. Plus, using some of the information, I managed to grow a few vegetables and fruits by myself in my small backyard. Enough to never worry about extreme situations such as food shortages. Well, before long, my friends and family members were begging to know my secrets. And when I told them about my camp experience and how Rick's techniques helped me then and on a daily basis, a lot of them had a hard time believing some survival lessons could be so helpful. But after I'd given them the simple, clear instructions, and they followed them, and even applied some on routine chores with ease, they became believers real fast. Because when anyone used these amazing plans, the results were the same. Sense of security, self-confidence, and a safe environment for themselves and their family. They all learned how to grow and cook their own food, produce their own water, protect themselves and their loved ones from any disaster, how to protect their homes, and more amazing such skills. Soon my friends were telling their friends about the plans until finally the number of phone calls and emails from people asking me to share them became overwhelming. Emily put her foot down and told me that I had to find a better way to share this information with the world. So I went to work with Rick, putting it all on paper, all the techniques, all the knowledge that we had in clear, simple steps. And then Final Survival Plan was created. The Final Survival Plan is a step-by-step guide showing you exactly how to protect yourself and your family when the big disaster comes. Learning efficient survival techniques in less than 24 hours from now. As you already know, this project was specifically designed so that anyone, regardless of sex, age, or profession, can learn, even if you have difficulty following a path in a park. In fact, you'll be shocked by how simple the steps actually are and how short the list of materials that you need to have to be prepared. Inside this project, which I'll tell you how you can access in just a second, you'll see exactly what those steps are, along with a full material list that will help you learn everything from start to finish. Even though it wasn't easy for us to conceive this plan, now we put a lot of time, money, and effort into it, believe me. I think it's extremely valuable. Plus, because the files are something that you can download to your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone, you'll be able to follow them anywhere, anytime, even if you decide to go into the wild and learn them there. Just look at what you'll receive today inside the Final Survival Plan. You'll know exactly how to find and cook food without using any power, and the hidden tricks to prevent food and medicine from spoiling. While everybody else is looking helpless, waiting and hoping for the power to come back on, you are already using the simple and surprising methods you discovered to preserve your essential supplies from spoiling. You and your loved ones will not be among those scavenging for mere scraps. You'll know how to head to the local store fast and hoard the 7 must-have medicine supplies that you can use to keep away 84% of diseases that will run rampant after the fall of America as we know it. Now it's time to stock up fast before the stores are looted. You'll be there before the lawlessness starts. This stockpile will be worth more than gold after the strike. You'll feel safer knowing what essential electronics like flashlights you'll need. You'll learn how to stock up, what's important, and where to place them to be ready at any given time, and not burden yourself with items that you don't need. By going through the final survival plan, you'll be ready and discover the 5 vital electronics that are crucial to have after the big strike, and where to keep them safe. Now, there will be other survivalists out there and preppers who will restore some basic communication and lighting that are the first steps toward rebuilding a society. That's just a glimpse of what the final survival plan will do for you. Now, to date, more than 34,000 families have used this exact same plan to permanently free themselves from the insecurity of post-disaster situations and improve their survival skills. Moreover, you'll receive 4 bestseller guides that will teach you exactly how to fully protect your loved ones, how to choose the best survival knife, how to create your best survival weapon and trap, how to train your mind to handle stressful situations, and how to protect yourself and your loved ones from dangerous viruses and germs. Now, these guides could easily be sold for over $60 each, but you're getting them for free. So with all that being said, I want you to pause and think about this for a second. How good will it feel to never ever have to worry about the consequences of such a calamity? To never ever have to think that your family may be in danger and that you are safe no matter what. How happy are you going to be when you join the ranks of the 34,832 other preppers who have already decided that they must put the safety of their families before everything else? In just 2 hours from now, you can learn all the secrets you'll ever need to survive and thrive through any disaster. So I want you to think about what this kind of knowledge will mean for you. I mean, of course, there are other options out there besides this. You could try to take a course on your own, but the price is a big concern. Can you really afford to pay someone several thousands of dollars or so to teach you all the necessary information? Another alternative is to train yourself. But remember, it's a complex domain, and Rick's 30 years of experience in the Army can't compare to Google search. Why would you do that when you could get the final survival plan today and be able to take total control as soon as tonight? This is my promise to you. If you use the step-by-step plan, the illustrated instructions and the materials cheat sheet that I'm about to give you, you will achieve a level of self-confidence, security, and family safety that will give you peace of mind that you crave for, no matter if you live in the mountains, the desert, or any other area. And given all of that, you're probably wondering what you need to do to get started, and what the investment cost will be for the full guide, the materials list, and everything else that's included. Well, first of all, let me just be clear about this. There is no system like this available anywhere in the world. The final survival plan is the result of considerable expertise in the survival field and the contributions of a brilliant Army man. And beyond all the complex training that has gone into making this simple and easy to use project, you'll also need to understand that this is about more than just surviving. It's about keeping your family safe. What price can you put on that? The reason I am so passionate about getting the final survival plan into your hands is that I never want you to go through what I went through. I want to give you the opportunity today to make sure that your home is filled with warmth and love, that you have the necessary skills to provide for your family the security that they need and want. Knowing they are consistently safe is a pretty big deal, especially when you can do it all without ever having to struggle with these thoughts daily. Ultimately, this is about taking action today so that you never ever have to worry about it for as long as you live. Because once you've taken 2 hours to read these plans, it won't matter when or where Putin strikes or if your family faces another danger. The knowledge contained in this project will never get old, permanently protecting you and your family from any risks. 34,832 honest and deserving families have already made the investment in the final survival plan, and the regular retail price is $97, not to mention the bonuses. In my opinion, that's an incredibly fair price, especially because it'll guarantee your family's safety. But while I do think $97 is a complete bargain, I also know just how badly a lot of families are struggling just to stay afloat. I've been there too. I've sensed that my family was in danger. I felt like I had a gun to my head, like I was being forced to choose between taking action or putting my family's safety at risk. That's why, for a limited time only, now I'm going to cut the investment price for the final survival plan by more than 65%. Instead of paying the normal retail price of $97, which is what more than 34,832 individuals already paid gladly, if you act today, you're going to get the entire final survival plan for just $39.69. Yet, I want you to be sure that this solution is absolutely right for you and your family. And that's why I won't even ask you for the $39.69 today. Heck, I won't even ask you to pay it tomorrow. If you act right now and on this page only, I'll let you have full, unrestricted access to my guide plus unadvertised bonuses for only $1. Read it over tonight or tomorrow morning and make absolutely sure that this solution is for you. If you love what you read, and I know you will, do nothing and you'll be billed for the remaining $38.69 in 3 days from now. But if you want to take advantage of this rare discount, you must take action right now by clicking the big Buy Now button directly below this video. I can't guarantee that I can keep this price for long, so don't get mad if you come back in a few days and see that the price has gone up. As soon as you click that button, you'll instantly go to a secure checkout page where you'll complete your order. It takes only 5 seconds, and once you hit enter, you'll immediately get access to the system. You'll be able to view the complete guide, the illustrated instructions, and the material list. And you can do it right from your computer, your smartphone, or your tablet. You'll also be able to download all the files that you can print out, as many copies of the plan and materials as you'd like. On top of your instant access, I'm also going to make sure that following the plans is one of the easiest, simplest, and most pain-free experiences you'll ever have in your life. That's why when you take advantage of this significant discounted investment price today, you're also going to get unlimited customer support for life. Out of the 34,832 families who have already made the investment in the final survival plan, less than 10 of them have had an issue understanding them. So while the chances that you'll need this support are slim, I want to make certain that if you do, I'm right here to help you. After you've completed your order, you'll be given my personal email address to answer any questions at all. And if there is even a split second where you feel confused or that you don't know what the next step is, or you just want to know if you can adapt a certain material for a special technique, which a lot of times you can, simply send me an email and I will personally work with you to get your question answered, bar none. There's only one thing standing between you and the peace of mind that you deserve, and that's the yellow button you see below right now. But if you're still feeling unsure about the final survival plan, then there's one more thing you should hear about, and that's my 60-day, no question asked, money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Right now, you just need to say maybe to the final survival plan. Click the yellow button, buy now. You'll see right now and claim your instant access to the guide, the materials list, the unlimited lifetime support, and everything else that's included. You will be shocked by how easy this is to follow, and you will be amazed by just how quickly the final survival plan changes your life. But if for any reason you're not blown away by the results, just send an email for an instant refund. Say you find a difficult technique that you don't understand, or you just change your mind. You'll get an instant refund, no question asked. It's helped us in more situations than I can remember since taking the course 1.5 years ago. And even as you read this presentation, it's helping more than 34,000 families. Right now, you have the chance to join all of us in the fight to take back your freedom. And you have a full 60 days to try before you buy. But aren't you going to ask yourself why you didn't at least try the final survival plan? You could panic any time you see a loved one injured or in danger, or end up making the wrong decision in a risky situation. But why on earth would you take that path, especially when all you have to do is click the Buy Now button below right now? Do that and you'll have full access to the final survival plan, the step-by-step guide, the illustrated techniques, and the materials list. You won't have to worry for your family's safety for as long as you live. You'll receive unlimited lifetime support as well. And you'll be covered by a full 100% money-back guarantee, good for 60 days. I think your decision is pretty obvious. But I can't click that yellow button for you. So go ahead and invest in the final survival plan right now. Join the 34,832 thrilled families who realize it's a better, simpler, cheaper way to live in security. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the inside in the members only area in a few moments from now. And thanks for watching.